Alright guys, so this is what if Issei had Tatsumi, Basara, and Kazuma's powers. Now, by powers, I mean he's gonna have Kazuma's straight up just lack of cares to give. And he's also gonna have the magic of steel and all that, but that's just because it's gonna work with him. So, Issei, he unlocked, at a young age, he unlocks a boosted gear, but he's not for the first thing he unlocks. So, he's playing with that girl, the one who winds up wielding part of Excalibur, the one who also becomes an angel. Forgot her name. So he's playing with her a game, and she said she has to go to the bathroom. He's like, okay, and he winds up keep playing, and he winds up pushing a book off the bookshelf. It's the only one book that's not the same. Now, when he wound up pushing this book, it was because he really liked to read books. In this version, he likes to mess with books, but he pulls the wrong book out because he just thought it looked weird. He pulls the wrong book out and winds up, instead of anything happening, it just opens the door inside there, which is full of weapons, holy weapons. Now he finds the armor that Tatsumi wears, and in the middle of the room, there's multiple weapons stabbed into the ground. He likes the one with the weird, glowy big sword. He picks up one of them. He picked up Basara's sword, because it was in the same room, but it was in, a different area. There was these weapons, there was Tatsumi's universe weapons, and Basara's universe weapons. Both are on different sides. The hero weapons, and the ancient weapons. Now, Tatsumi's weapon he sees, and he even sees the fishman's sword, too. The guy with who's the fish. With the guy who's basically the fish version of it. Now he sees that sword and he's like, He goes to grab it. His hand just flies right through it. No matter. He grabs this other one, and he just perfectly fair. He likes it. He's got the willpower to use it. As he winds up getting into the armor and gets right back knocked out of it, and he grabs it, saying, as impressed as he was. Sorry guys, this dog just hit me in the side, so I wound up tapping the screen. So, yeah. And then he goes over to the basara weapons as the one he had touched, Tatsumi's sword, it disappeared. And if that isn't something that it does in the anime, it just did. It completely confused Issei. As he walks up to the big swords that he liked. Now, his hand, as every time he touched the other ones, it kind of felt weird to him. He touched this one big one, and he sort of draws it out, as armor goes on his right arm. As he really likes it. It's a really cool weapon. Then he sees something else. It was a card. It was a little ball. He touched the ball, and it made a card with Issei's name on it, his age, everything, and it would upgrade every time he did something. As it said, and it had all the stats then he had skills with all of Kazuma's old skill points on it. As he was wondering about this, and he somehow just knew how to use it, as he just clicks on each one of them that he wanted. Steel, all the other magics that he has, the efficiency and everything. So, he winds up saying, his head started to hurt. But then the next day, they leave. He hugged her and said bye, hoping they didn't notice that two of the swords were missing because both of them had disappeared in Issei's hand. As he wound up going home, and when he went to bed, 3 figures appeared to him. Kaneki, Basara, and Kazuma. I mean, not Kaneki, Tatsumi, Basara, and Kazuma. And as confused as he was, he thought it was pretty cool. And each of them said, "Hello, Issei. We are you and you are us. Our old lives you have the weapons of. You see, each one of those weapons you grabbed that just disappeared, was something that was one of ours." Now, Kazuma saying, when I finally had defeated the Demon Lord and died, after I died, my spirit went to you, as well as every other power I had. while technically all your skill sets didn't have none of the powers, you would get my card. We knew it would happen. Boss was saying, I'm glad you wound up grabbing the right one, kid. Too bad it took you so many tries to lift it. Went just to one other sword, then another sword. I know, they looked weird, but mine was still the strongest. And then Tatsumi saying, a great man gave me that armor. I think it's because you get it. I died when I was fighting. I got turned into a dragon and died. Good job, kid. Pats him on the shoulder. They all say, look, we'll be running you how to use those during the nighttime, but you will get stronger during the day via our training, okay? Okay. Now, he's training over summer breaks and everything, and eventually he just gets unstoppably strong. Now, he's as strong as Basara, Tatsumi, and issei all put together. And issei even gave him the power with a bow, which issei actually does not have. Which, in this version, it's because he has this thing called storage, as he calls it. He has this place he likes to call storage, which is a skill that I'm going to say that Kazuma could get. As he basically has this little wormhole he can grab stuff through. That's where he keeps his swords. That's also where he keeps all his other weapons that are from Kazuma. That's basically where Kazuma kept all his stuff, too, so makes sense, right? Yeah. Well, issei thought it made a lot of sense, too. That's why he kept doing it. Now, I'm not going to give anyone the full-on beastly powers of issei. And he's not going to... As he unlocked the boosted gear, wondering what it was, Drake looking at these three saying, so you're technically my master. Yes, we are. All four of us, as issei walks in like, wow. As of this point, he's in he's 1 year behind where he was in canon. So it's a year later that this anime's even started. So everything's happening where he's getting powers and everything. As Drake is like confused and conflicted. It's the first time that has happened to him. Basara's sword, as he's seen each one of these relics, saying, these were ancient weapons. Only the best warrior ever wielded any of these weapons. And they each had to go to different warriors or else they'd be basically overwhelmed. Then he looks at the Cosmo one saying, you're the guy with the power. Your powers you were one of a kind as well. Each one of these weapons were wielded by the greats. Your void powers, all your magic and all skills, they were all used by some of the greats. Yeah, it makes sense. But they were all lost years ago. No, they were just kept. As he's already shown the willpower to use them all. He's got your weapon now, right? What weapon do you have? I'm a gauntlet. I can turn into armor and even the dragon itself. That's pretty useful. Yeah. Thing is, his body isn't quite ready for any of the armor. Maybe the gauntlet. Now he goes the first gauntlet. He keeps it up for an hour. Second gauntlet version of it, where it's actually the real thing. And then the third one. He trains up to that. Now he wields the, in his left arm is where the gauntlet and Tatsumi's sword is. And in the right arm is where Basara's weapon is. And his gauntlet thing of an arm. As it kind of makes sense. And then Kazuma is what kind of seems in the middle. As he's got Kazuma's green cape. But then he noted something. He's powerful as possible. He's 3 powers of ultimate unstoppability. Technically 4. But they keep training, and all of them together make it where Issei's always based. And if Issei goes to sleep and if one of them wants to take over, Issei just has to give the word, and one of the 3 will take over. Drake can't, but all the other 3 can. So, at one point, Issei falls asleep in class, and then, not sure if it'd be Kazuma or who, but I think Basara mainly. As Basara took over and does his thing for writing and everything. Writes Issei's notes down, even in a slightly different handwriting. It worked. As the teacher had then asked questions, and Basara's like, these are the exact same answers from my world. Boom, 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 boom. Then it was things that more Tatsumi would work on, like his powerful strength, because in the beginning of the anime, he was already taking down dragon level monsters, so I'm saying Tatsumi would have, like, the more physical prowess, and then for straight up gamer knowledge, or, like, knowledge about things that that were usually not in a battle, that's when you'd call in, like, Kazuma. But in this actual thing, I'm gonna say that Kazuma is like, haha. As in this version, Kazuma is actually pretty smart. Mainly because I don't think he was dumb, he just never went to school. So in this version, they all have the answers, all of them. But Issei's straight up out like a light. But each one of them were taking turns answering questions if they're basically like a group. And Issei usually would just let them take over whenever he was about to get like the complete wrong answers. If any of them knew it, they were free to take over, as he said. Now for the workout thing, I'd say the Basara is the best choice for that because he takes the most painful staking. Well, him and Tatsumi too. Their bodies were used to taking mad pain from training. And Basara is mainly because he just took a lot of damage and never really fully healed. But I'm gonna say they're letting Issei do the push-ups and all that. But when he's about to give out, one of them will take over, and he breaks every school record they have. Even some of the records that they have that were different. As eventually he basically just is seen going through one after the other and after the other. He's just one of the top students in the school. He is the top student of his year. He's not the top student at the school, but he's the top student of his year, which makes him pretty much up there with the third years, as the second years weren't much, as he's basically right along there as one of the smartest people there. And there was only like one or two third years that could be smarter than him. I'm not sure which ones they would be, but yeah, I'm not certain. So anyway, we're going back to this. So every single thing where Issei would usually have, like when he was fighting Rainier, same thing happened with the light spear. In this version, not happened. All the other fallen angels had to jump in to stab Issei with light spears straight in the stomach for it to go down the same way. Each one of his weapons dissipated into the void. Basically, they were all about to fall off. But he pushed them all into the void right before he died. Guess this is it. Basara and all them went to try taking over, but none of them but no one could. And then eventually Kazuma goes to take over, as they thought, now what's the point of letting and we're dead alright now, let's let Kazuma take over. Because Kazuma takes over every now and again, but he really rarely does. But when he does, he got up, bleeding and all, and jumps at them. And he just starts, and he yelled the word steal. 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 And stole all their fallen angel gear. Well, all the girls at least. Now, it was basically the most valuable thing. And being that, well, Rainier had nothing, literally, but her clothes, it was kind of like no choice but that. So it's like, steal. As he threw steal twice. And she was completely there, just like, oh, and she is pissed. And every other, like, fallen angel girl, they get the same exact treatment. Steal. Now the dude, he just gets punched in the face. Now they all take a retreat, as Cosmo's like, that's all I could do. As they'll hit the floor. And Issei's trained with all the spells and everything. He knows the exact way. And then eventually they're like, you've surpassed us. We have to go. First it was Kazuma saying bye. You did good. As they wound up not really leaving, but they're more of a consensus, and they can't really take over as well. They're only able to take over if Issei's in dire need of one of them. Now, he's usually not, as in this version at this point, he he thinks he's dead, and then boom, he gets revived. And he thought he was gonna meet like one of the angels and everything that like Kazuma taught him about, but no, nah. Now, instead of meeting a goddess, he met Rias. Now, Kazuma told him that he might even get reincarnated into another world where it's way easier and he just has to fight a demon lord, and they'll help him through that if he needs it. But instead, he got revived by Rias. So, no death. As Issei was a little ticked off that he wasn't going to be able to go into another world where he was a beast, but he was fine with just staying in this one. Now, he burst. When he woke up, he was just like, oh, no. As, I'm going to say Basara because of Miyu, had been like, I got this. And he's just like, dire need. And with lightning speed, he was able to hide Rias under his own bed, saying, shh. It's like, come in, Mom. As he had said that. 1 second, guys. So, I'm back, guys. I just had to take care of something. Now, at this point, Issei basically just basically gets contracts, no problem. He's used to dealing with demons at this point because of Basara knowing about demons. He's basically from the hero tribe, which makes it a lot easier knowing about demons and all that. So he's basically just stomping everything out. Anytime there's like one that's fallen demon or whatever wants to come at him, he just stomps him out. We go up a little bit until a fight with Riser. In this version, as he's still kind of like the Harem King idea, so yeah, which no one's gonna stop him, so yeah, makes a lot of sense. Anyway, back to the thing. So every version, so he still has that whole thing, and when Rias told Riser about that, Riser's like, I know what to do. I'm going to piss this dude as much off as possible by doing this to a girl right in front of the woman I'm supposed to marry, and in front of the pawn that wants that to happen for him. As Riser thought this was the best idea ever, so he goes to do it, and then gets slapped around by Issei. As Issei straight up just punches him in the face. Psh. But not the same way as Canon, as he goes straight up with the boosted gear, but he also said, as he had also swung his arm and had the sword appear out of thin air, the boosted gear appeared, and he had ripped out, as he basically summoned up his weapon and armored up. Hold on a second, guys. Sorry, guys, my jerk little brother thought it'd be a funny joke to say something stupid. So, anyway, hold on a second. Okay, I'm back. I'm dealing with my little brother right now. He's really annoying. He's less than a year younger than me, and he still thinks he's unstoppable. So, yeah, dealing with this isn't easy. So everyone's like, stop! So Issei kept, as Issei said, as they were given a little time because they didn't have as many people, Issei wound up saying, let's all get into shape. Now he trained with all of them and even said, come here. As he wound up giving her as he gave Akano this little power-up boost. But doing it was really difficult. He had to do something which was really difficult on him. This thing was involving gear and magic, as he's got way more magic than she does, but it's all in multiple different forms, so it's hard for him to pinpoint which one would be good. So he wound up saying, watch my level of magic. Pure lightning. As a lightning strike down at him, and he grabbed it, as a lightning bolt was in his hand, as if he was Zeus himself as he threw it, as a javelin. She tried doing the same thing and couldn't even keep up. He said it's okay, but keep training your lightning. Hold on a second. Alright guys, I'm back, so I just have to do this video real quick, because Justin won't stop being a little jerk. But I'll do this real fast. So, Justin thinks he's unstoppable and everything, but... So, anyway, Riser thinks he's unstoppable because he's immortal and all that, but he isn't, and he's gonna get stomped out. So I'm going to take all the anger I have right now and put it into what Issei is going to do to Riser. So Issei is just madder and madder every second. So when they have that fight finally going on, he says, I'll go here, y'all go there, bye. As he starts just wailing on everything, like Kazuma, but he's calmer, so he's just taking out all of them. He's not overwhelming them by overdoing the girls, by killing them. But when he hits Riser, he shatters Riser. His head got sent flying a mile away. And then he burned it back where it was there. As Riser starts huffing and puffing, Issei just keeps wailing on him with all the powers, barehanded, no weapons, nothing, just full-on rage. And then he would have killed Riser if there wasn't a Phenex tear thing, because no one else used Phenex tears. But once Riser uses that one Phenex tear, noting everyone else is together, so there's no need for them to be in any danger. Now, I wouldn't say that it's very difficult, but it is a little difficult for Issei to go berserk on people, but he will. Now he stomps Riser out, and he goes basically through the anime with no trouble until, boom, Cyber-Org. This moment against Cyber-Org when they're training and all that. So that's the only trouble level he actually gets in. Now, I did this just because I thought it would be fun, but then I just got angrier, so I'm gonna keep making it. I'm just gonna cut it off here, but like, not even cut it off, dude. I'm just ending it here. As Issei just gets stronger and stronger as every power seems to increase into him. And eventually he gets all the girls. And then he is done as the perfect demon king. As he joined the demons as a king, saying bye to everyone. As he was now the owner of his own familia and everything. The unstoppable king. Bye, guys.